They say a man without a name is already half dead. But no one ever warned what would happen if an entire village lost theirs. This story is told in whispers because even today, elders feared that speaking it too clearly may wake something that never truly slept. Long ago, deep in the red soil heart of Africa, beyond the last paved road, and the last map anyone trusted, there stood a village so old that even the ancestors argued about when it began. It survived droughts that cracked the land open like broken pottery. It survived wars that erased nearby settlements from memory. It survived kings, colonizers, and time itself. But none of that destroyed it. What broke this African village was something far smaller. A name. In that place, names were not decorations. They were not sounds used for convenience. A name was a spiritual contract. It carried your birth season, your ancestral blood, and the future you were expected to walk into. To forget your name was not confusion. It was erasure, and someone decided the village deserved to be erased. One evening, as the sun melted into the horizon and the air grew thick with insects and stories, a stranger walked in. No one heard his footsteps. No dust clung to his legs, and when the firelight touched him, he cast no shadow on the ground. The villagers asked him the first question all Africans ask a stranger. What is your name? A smile. Not the smile of a friendly, the smile of someone who already knew the answer did not matter. That should have been the moment they sent him away. But they did not. Only one person reacted differently. The oldest woman in the village, her back bent like a question mark, refused to look at him.
She whispered to the elders that some people do not forget their names. They feed on the names of others.
The elders laughed. They said old age makes fear grow faster than wisdom. That night, they gave the stranger food. They gave him a place to sleep. They gave him stories by the fire. Stories of births. Stories of ancestors. Stories filled with names spoken freely into the dark. And with every name spoken, something unseen leaned closer. At dawn, the first scream came. A child sat on the ground, shaking, tears running down his face. His mother held him, asking again and again for his name. The child opened his mouth. Nothing came out. Not a sound, not even a whisper. By midday, 5 people could not remember their names. By evening, it was 20. Husbands looked at their wives with polite confusion. Mothers pointed instead of calling. Children answered only to touch. The village drum was beaten, but even the drummer forgot why his hands were moving. Something was wrong with memory itself. The elders gathered beneath the sacred tree to restore order. One elder stood to speak, confident as always. Then his voice broke. He knew he was old. He knew he had authority, but the name he had carried for 70 years was gone. He collapsed to the ground, screaming that if he had no name, how would the ancestors recognize him when he died? That was when panic replaced denial. They searched for the stranger. His hut was empty, cold, untouched. No ashes, no footprints. Only strange symbols carved into the dirt marks older than the village itself. Marks associated with rituals, meant to bind names, trap identities, and consume memory. That night, silence swallowed the village. No one called anyone else, because no one knew what to call them. Babies cried without comfort. The sick passed quietly. And when the ancestors came, they found no names to answer. Spirits cannot protect what they cannot identify. By morning, nearly everyone was gone inside themselves. Everyone except one, the old woman. She alone remembered who she was. Years earlier, she had cut her tongue in a private ritual, believing that spoken names could be stolen. She had learned to carry names silently, locking them behind thought instead of sound. Silence saved her. She prepared a ritual no one else remembered anymore. She gathered dust from forgotten graves, water untouched by sunlight, blood willingly offered, not taken. She called the spirits without using names, summoning them by pain, by memory, by debt. The earth trembled. The spirits answered. They agreed to return the stolen names. But nothing comes back unchanged. One name would be erased forever. One identity would be removed from memory, from speech, from song. The old woman did not hesitate. She offered her own name. When dawn arrived, the village remembered. Parents cried as they spoke their children's names again. Friends embraced. The drumbeat returned with purpose. But when they turned to thank the old woman, they realized no one could remember what to call her. They asked her name. She smiled. 3 days later, she died. They buried her without a name. No carving, no song. No ancestor could call her spirit home. And so, the elders made a rule. No stranger may enter without a name, and no name may ever be spoken carelessly again. Because some curses do not die. They wait even now. Travelers say that people in that region hesitate before saying their names aloud. And sometimes, late at night when the wind is wrong, a voice can be heard whispering from the dark, "Tell me your name." If that ever happens to you, do not answer.